Hey everyone, so I was really hoping to release projections at the end of this week, and then I realized I literally work most of the hours between Thursday and Sunday at the end of this week, and I'm late for a podcast. I have several videos that are like half done, half not done, and some that have to be I got behind. What's new? Either way, I realized my projections are going to be ready without me having been able to run them under the eyes of anyone else. And that's normally a bad idea, because when you're the only one who's looked at anything, you miss how crazy you are. And so I've got them out, at least my initial projections. We'll tweak as we go. Especially with new news, like Julio Jones recently being traded. That wasn't a random, get that fixed in 5 minutes, type situation at all. Anyway, here's a new plan, or here's the plan for my projections. So actually, at least some of my projections are going to be on the relaunch, new live version, 2qbs.com. I don't know if you remember that website, but they're relaunching, or at least trying to do something for the 2021 season again. And Sal, the guy who runs, is relaunching it, at least, is a friend of mine, and asked if he could at least have quarterback projections, and so he's at least getting those. It was basically on the condition that I could use them for whatever I wanted. I have been approached by a number of people earlier this off-season about putting them on their websites and apps and stuff, especially weekly projections is where most of the value in projections is, because seasonal projections are fun, but weekly projections are the real grind, to be honest with you. And so I haven't gotten back to a lot of those, because at the time I was just enjoying not having to think about it. But I don't know what's going to happen with the week-to-week projections. But here is for the seasonal projections, they're going to be in a few places that just ask for them. I'm happy to share my projections with websites and companies and friends that have things like that. But what I'm going to do is just upload them on Patreon. And so you have to be behind the Patreon paywall, that whole $1. You paid it once and now you're completely behind all of the paywalls. I know, it's really tall. But it's also just another opportunity for me to thank the Patreons, who are basically funding all of my efforts to gather, maintain, and use data. Like, that's all the funding I get for it. Not to say that when I write or work for other websites, they don't pay me a little, but this business isn't really it's not really a job, except for a few very lucky places and people and positions. And so I'm literally Patreon funded for the vast majority of it. And this is another opportunity to try at least to pay back, since I put up so much stuff for free. I feel like they get shafted a little bit sometimes. And so what I'm going to do is release it in a way that I do my NFL database, where it's available through a link through a Patreon post, but that Patreon post is behind the Patreon paywall. So you actually have to have been a Patreon to get access to that post, to get to the Google Sheet. I really was hoping to get a website up. I'm not starting a competitive website, VDLF or anyone else. I just want a place to put stuff other than Google Sheets or Patreon, because there's just a little bit more functionality that comes with that stuff. Instead of me creating tabs in a Google Sheet that we can manipulate to do similar things, apps on a website, like you've seen with Zeno's, Zeno is my name website. They're just functionally they're just a little easier, especially for people that don't like grinding sheets. Unfortunately, my efforts in the area have fallen down because I don't have thousands of dollars to pay for someone to do it for me. I don't have the skills yet. And all the people I beg, borrow, and push towards doing the stuff that I don't have the skills for, like, I've begged, borrowed, and pushed as hard as I can this off-season, I think, and I really can't expect more than I've gotten, and so that's just getting pushed back. So, unfortunately, that's the way they're going to be presented and put out, at least for the seasonal projections. Maybe I can make a final push to get something a little bit better, functionally or presentation-wise. But, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, on Monday, I'm also working. I don't stop. I don't know if you've noticed that. So what I've done is I've got a live stream on Tuesday anyway, so I'm just going to turn that into my projections release stream. We'll come on stream, the link on Patreon will become available, and I'll answer any and all questions about where my projections are at. including questions about, like, what does Julio look like now he's in Tennessee, and how I approach that kind of subject. It's not that I can't and haven't addressed that before, it's just feels like I'll save some of that stuff for that stream instead of this video, because sometimes there's a lot of gaps when I stream, as my attempt at a skit on YouTube recently was. So yeah, just to show you what that looks like, on Patreon, the post for the Tuesday stream is already up. I always try to stream at least Monday or Tuesday, sometimes both, but this week, where I'm working extra shifts on Monday, it's just going to be a Tuesday stream, but I'm going to go live around 2 p.m, at which time the post on Patreon with the 2021 projections will become available. You can follow through to either links to either watch it on YouTube, or you can watch it on Twitch. It also turns up on Periscope if you like to watch these things through the Twitter activated, I don't know, it shows up on Twitter, yeah, as a Periscope thing, which I was told wasn't going to be alive anymore, but it still works, so it's still on Periscope as well, and the video will then download onto YouTube, so anyone who misses the live stream can watch it after that. Also, as always, I'm available on Twitter at Pahowdy, on Patreon, and anywhere else you can send me a message. Pahowdy@yahoo.com, for example. If you want any more information about it, or want to ask me questions in general, I'm always around, as you know. So yeah, that's going to be the 2021 seasonal projection rollout, at which point I will stop. And I should point out, I use the model we built on stream. Now, I tweaked it to my own personal preference as I've made some updates. I've imported some stuff I was doing in my original model, but I really wanted to use that model we built together. And so, like I suggested with everyone, or anyone that's gone and checked it out, it does need some advancing, it does need some tweaking, but it's a pretty good start. And I use that to make my 2021 projections as well, producing per game projections and seasonal projections. We put a lot of interesting things in there, and I find it really useful and functional, and so that was pretty cool. And that's where they're all coming from. And is there anything else I can say about it? No, I'm releasing them on Tuesday. That gives me at least a day to get them under the eyes of some people I trust to, fact check me, essentially. Like, someone's too efficient, someone's not efficient enough, something doesn't make sense, or just they disagree with my ranks and they want to have a conversation about it. That gives them about 24 hours to get back to me with any feedback, which is nowhere near enough for an entire projection thing. But that's my bad, because I didn't schedule this out well enough. And that also means there's a grace period where I'll be tweaking all projections until the season starts, even the seasonal projections. But by Tuesday, when I release them, they should be pretty solid outside of NFL news. They should be exactly where I'm at for what I think is most likely the median projection for the 2021 season. But again, on Tuesday, I'll talk about what I'm attempting to do with my projections, what they're meant to represent, and then maybe how that relates, or what that does to adjust how I'm drafting in best balls, or how I'm approaching trades, targets, or sells in Dynasty as well. And hopefully that'll be fun. I think I'm going to have fun, even if it's just me, which is normal. Look at me. I'm a nerd in a basement room. I am always just fine and happy by myself. But hopefully some of you can show up. I just wanted to make a quick video to let you know what was going on, because I realized in my mad scramble to get everything organized, I had failed to mention any of that. And it doesn't really matter unless I tell you all. So that's what's happening. Today is technically it's June 7th, but it's really late June 6th, okay? It's Sunday still for me. And on Tuesday, June 8th, I'm going to go live, and so will my 2021 seasonal projections, not the tweak stuff, obviously. And we'll have some fun talking about it, and maybe breaking down what's going to happen next year, or what I think is a median expectation of what's going to happen next year. And that's that. Then I can get back to just making videos, just trying to work on turning the stream model into a week-to-week model, because that's slightly different, and maybe we can do some streaming on that too. And also, I want to get back to writing DLF articles. I went through a pretty significant period of actually putting out DLFL content, and I was really happy with it, and then I got tired, and so I took a small break, and it's hard to get back onto all of the schedules for content that I have created for myself for some reason. So I want to get back to that too. Yeah, speaking of which, I owe DLF, and DLF has a YouTube channel. You probably know that channel if you're watching a video on mine, to be fair. But I've got a video I owe them. We're meant to be making the case for one of the top 12 wide receivers in Dynasty to be the top 12, and coincidentally, not because I know things, just coincidentally, I ended up with Calvin Ridley, which fits in well with this recent Julio Jones news, and I'm going to point out in that video, and I'm pointing out right now, he was still kind of projecting to be a top 12 wide receiver, or potentially a top 12 wide receiver in 2021 before the trade. And so I think that's a little of interesting aspect to how this might affect Calvin Ridley going into next season. So yeah, that's enough. That's enough announcing, I guess, for one night. I hope you're doing well. I hope you can check out that stream. I hope you check out the DLF channel, not because they need it, because they already have subscribers, those dastards. And I used a D, so it's not a swear. That's how that works. Anyway, yeah, I'm floundering at this point. Please check out my stream on Tuesday, or the video after the stream itself, and contact me if you have any other questions or anything else I guess, about projections, or where you can find my projections, or what I think of different situations going 2021. We're gearing up, man. It's getting close, and exciting. So thanks very much, and I will talk to you again on Tuesday, at least, as well as, in the Discord and on Twitter. And I don't know why we're not constantly talking to each other, Patreon audience, but sometimes we get an occasional YouTube video watcher who's not in the Discord, so they might be unaware of that. Anyway, appreciate it. Talk to you again on Tuesday. Hope to see you there. If not, no worries. Hope to see you next time. Appreciate it. Bye.